Hey y'all, happy Friday. This is hour 10 of the Pit, otherwise known as Santos was right. Robbie has his heart broken multiple times, and the Chad is not great. Um, the theme of this episode really seems to be pressure. Let's see. So we open with the cops questioning Teresa about David. Turns out that McKay is the one that called them, and Robbie is pissed. He's about to confront her, but not before he is pulled into the trauma of a burning victim, Teddy. And then he's pulled away from that by Dana returning from the ambulance bay after Driscoll had punched her. Let's see. They all fuss over Dana, and she is not having it. She initially refuses to give up Driscoll's name, but then relents. Perla gets stuck being charge nurse while Dana gets checked out medically, and they send her for a CT and whatnot. Teddy, who's the burn victim guy, they are waiting for his wife to intubate him. And Huckleberry clearly has no clue how to handle a burn case. Then Mohan and Mel catch a 20-year-old Jane Doe stroke patient. Continued pressure theme. Robbie starts to lay into McKay about calling the cops, but she is reprieved by her son running into the ER. Her ex has broken his leg trying to be cool skateboarding. He is the Chad, and the Chad is not great. He is a huge douche canoe who bitches and moans the entire motherfucking time, like literally the rest of the season. But Heather's on the case and takes him. Let's see, where else do we go? Mel and Mohan work with the stroke patient. Dr. Mehta, who's the neurologist, loves puns. And he's on the case, and Mel is very skeptical of his puns. I personally love puns. Um, there's somebody in my life that does one of these numbers when they say puns. It's hilarious. Back to the Chad. Heather and Santos work on the Chad while Princess tells them about Dana getting punched. And the Chad is all, what about me? McKay brings in their son, Harrison. And now we find out that Chad was skateboarding to impress his son because he's jealous of Mateo, and Mateo skateboards. Mateo takes Harrison to the break room for some talkies, and we find out that Chad's woman, Chloe, is why McKay has the ankle bracelet. Not sure exactly how, but that's what we get. Robbie then rips into McKay about calling the cops. Now, when this first aired, my son and I argued about that because I was like, McKay did the right thing. She was right. She was thinking about those girls. And my son was like, no, because she has no proof. Nobody's ever even seen these alleged letters, and they're causing a panic. And later on, spoilers, we find out that this is actually correct. So shout out to my son for being correct. Don't tell him. Glad he does not watch. Let's see. What do we go back to? The Chad, he's going to need surgery on his leg, and he continues to be just a giant jackass. Perla is not loving being charge nurse. Violence against healthcare workers while they're at the admit desk becomes the topic among the nurses and Robbie, and then Gloria walks right into the fight. Norma Ray Union. Robbie goes to town on her ass, absolutely roasts her, and leaves her to the angry mob as he like sneaks away. I would have loved it if he had moonwalked, but again, pressure. The theme continues. Santos talks to Robbie about the Chad, and Langdon clocks this and obviously assumes it's about him. More pressure. Everett, baseball playing teenager, comes into the ER with his father. Um, and the admit clerk is reluctant to let him back. And then he reveals that, like, His eye has, rather than out of the socket, has been pushed into the socket, and it's all black and freaky. And this one gave me the heebie-jeebies. But again, pressure. The pressure continues, right? We are back to the Chad. He is on propofol and going on about Mateo, and Heather and Santos are laughing their asses off, and he's like, the hair, this was much needed comic relief, and makes you think more of McKay, because she put up with this douche canoe. Also makes you think a little bit less of her, that she fucked this douche canoe. But yeah, they laugh their asses off at him on propofol. Now we go to Everett with the eye, and McKay and Victoria are working on him. Victoria really identifies with the kid because he's a baseball prodigy, she's a medical prodigy, and the dad is putting so much pressure again. Again, the theme continues on him, in addition to his injury, which is also putting pressure on him. McKay sends Victoria to go get Robbie. Langdon corners Santos and tells her that he saw her talking to Robbie, and prods her, tells her that she needs to respect the chain of command. And she's not having it, and tells him to stay the fuck up out of her Kool-Aid. We go back to Everett. The dad continues to like give his son an ulcer, really. Robbie comes in. They need to perform emergency surgery on him because the pressure in his eye is building up so badly that he's in danger of losing it. And again, all the dad talks about is his baseball career. It's a little pathetic, honestly. Then we go back to Teddy, the burn victim in that trauma. Huckleberry's talking to the wife, and he's getting too close to her. He also has no clue how serious Teddy's condition is. And then Teddy starts to crash. We go back to Everett. Robbie walks McKay through the eye surgery that they perform right there in the exam room. And she's surprised that he allowed her to do it. She thanks him, and he says, "You seem surprised." And she says, "Well, yeah, I really thought you would have benched me after the shit I did with the cops." And he was like, "Well," he said, "I was only thinking about the scared kid, David. I wasn't thinking about those girls. So this is a teaching hospital, and I too can learn things. But you go around me or over me again, and I will motherfucking bench you." So I appreciated the scene. I really did. McKay then checks on her son, Harrison. He's in the lounge, and she offers for him to stay with her while his dad is recovering from surgery. And he's very grateful for this. The kid's like relieved by it. And obviously, who the fuck wants to live with the Chad, right? Go back to Teddy. They have to do an escharotomy, which is what they do. They cut into his skin to leave the pressure so that he can breathe. This is very gruesome, and like really, I had to go into my phone every time I watched this episode. I have to go in my phone for this trauma. At the desk, Langdon acts a fool, and Heather checks him, right? Princess and Perla gossip about, do you think that Langdon and Heather have ever fucked? And they're like, nah, they never fucked. And then Robbie comes up and they're like, did Heather and Robbie ever fuck? And they're like, hell, fuck yeah, they fucked. Langdon is also a dick about Dana has now been medically cleared. Her CT's good. He's a dick about her coming back to work. He's like, oh, finally. Fuck yourself. Anne says that in front of her replacement. Langdon then talks shit to Robbie about Santos because he clocked her and he's trying to triangulate and shit. We go back to Dana. Dana is working in her bed, telling Perla what to do with the patients. Heather comes in to tell her that her CT is clear and she's going to be okay, and then climbs into bed with her. And it was such a sweet scene. You know, Heather's been through the miscarriage, Dana's been through an attack, and it was such a beautiful, sweet scene of them like giving each other comfort through the trauma and stuff. It really was. I loved it. Beautiful. Also, like the previous episode when they held hands during the drowning girl's trauma, I really fucked with both these things. We're back to Mohan and Mel and the stroke victim. Mohan tells Mel that Dr. Mehta tells jokes because he really does think that laughter is the best medicine. And that is his special sauce. The patient wakes up. We find out that her name is Vera. Heather tells McKay that the Chad was super loopy on propofol. And she's like, hope he still don't have a thing for you because man, is he jealous of Mateo, right? Vera starts having some swelling. Mel thinks it's anaphylaxis, but Mohan treats her bedside for just the swelling itself, and does a cocktail, and it's all very from the hip and cool. And Robbie's like, slow mo, no mo. And that was very cool. We go back to Teddy. Huckleberry mistakenly gives the wife hope. Langdon sets him straight, really kind of lets into him and tries to hurt him. Listen, though, I even knew this guy wasn't going to make it. And it makes me wonder, did Huckleberry ever watch ER as a kid? Maybe his parents made him? We go back to Everett, the kid with the eye. They are talking to the dad about post care and following up with the ophthalmologist and stuff. And the dad is harping on about when he'll be ready to play baseball. And Victoria literally loses all of her shit on him. Just leave him the fuck alone. What the fuck? It was beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. We all feel that way, right? We go back to Vera. Mel finally buys into Meta's special sauce and apologizes to Mohan for doubting her. She even cracks jokes back at Meta. She also confides in Mohan that she's worried that she doesn't have a special sauce. And that was some sweet vulnerability. McKay tells Victoria after after she loses her shit on the patient's dad to calm down, but she has mad empathy for her. Mateo comes in and Victoria embarrasses the fuck out of herself again, right? Trying to flirt with him. And she thinks like they're making plans to go out, only to find out that Mateo's going to be babysitting Harrison. And so she inserts herself, tries to third wheel it, and then basically unwittingly volunteers to watch Harrison. Robbie questions Santos about Langdon. Dana comes back to work. So Santos, they don't show it, but she confides in Robbie about Langdon. Robbie confronts Langdon. Turns out Santos was motherfucking right. Just because you don't like her don't mean she's fucking wrong, right? And I actually love Santos, but yeah. Langdon has a patient's meds, I think Earl's in his locker. This scene is so beautiful and heartbreaking. And I think about Noah Wiley playing this side of the scene, which there's a lot of that juxtaposition. And, you think about how the Pit was originally conceived as a sequel to ER and how his character, John Carter, had addiction. I think about that. And if that was originally intended with this storyline arc. So, yeah. And that is, and he snaps at the nurses as they're going by. But that's the end of the episode. So, join me or go back and check out. I've done a Fangirl Friday all about spring, the duck song, and weird shit our kids say or families say, made up shit. Also look for a poker face, maybe mini recap coming up this weekend, and hopefully a weekly sauce before Monday, before Manic Monday. Y'all have a great day and take care of y'all.